buying a renovated property or unrenovated property. Now, is an unrenovated property cheaper? Stay tuned.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael BURGIO, Mark Novak, episode 472. To buy renovated or to buy unrenovated. It's a good topic, and I think there's been a real big shift, especially in the last 5 years. And we wanted to talk about it because I think the perception out there, or the viewpoint from a lot of people, is it's cheaper to do the work yourself. So when it comes to buying a block of land, building, or buying a knockdown and building a home, or a home that needs kitchens, or a lot of those things. So this morning we're going to talk about, is it cheaper or is it just a myth? Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mr. BURGIO. We're going towards 500, mate. Jesus Christ.
Getting there. So I think what really fueled this conversation was we had two sales in particular, one in DY 50 Arthur Street, which is basically like a knockdown, and then we had one in top of South Creek Home, a beautiful home, a well-built Italian. Courtney, 3 stories, double brick walls, couple kitchens, 5 or 6 like bedrooms, double living, like with a view. It was immaculate. Strong. And to see basically the knockdown selling for 2.1, with lots of competition. There were probably like 8, at least 4 buyers at that 2.1 and about 10 from 1.95. It was highly contested auction, a lot of parties there. And then to see this property, which in this market probably took 4 or 5 weeks on the market. There was really only 1-2 buyers at the end, but nowhere near the momentum. Yes, different price points, but it was around 3.1, around there. But when you look at that difference, and it was basically like $1 million difference. I think the Arthur was just under 2.1. This was just around 3.1. So $1 million, and you look at that home, a custom home, not a project home. And the difference between a project home can be $500,000, a custom can be 1.5. Huge difference. This was a custom home, a monster, which you probably couldn't build for less than 1.5 with all the stuff in there as well. And then you got the view. So it just was almost like the nail in the coffin for me to come to the conclusion that buying something renovated is far better value, because everyone may think it's either a want or they think buying unrenovated is so much better. And there's numerous sales like that. Mark, what's sort of your view?
Well, you know what? I think it's whether it's renovated or unrenovated, what does everyone really want? Because that's when a premium is really going to be paid. So you'd often think that someone wants my renovation and I'm going to sell it for a premium. But more often than not, couples buying a unit, couples buying a house just want that blank canvas. Now, if they all want that, they're going to pay overs. It's going to go bananas. So I think people have got to be really careful. And a really good example that I love cars. And if you look at a really nice car, like a German car these days, and it's a shit color, it will actually go, that car that's a bad color will go for really cheap. And you just can wrap it. Do you know what I mean? So, and then you're still under what you're paying for say you're buying a black BMW, but you buy a fluoro orange BMW, and then you wrap it, you're still cheaper. So I don't know if you're going with the flow, guys, but you just got to be really, really careful about it, because I think that to buy an unrenovated property, to buy a shit renovation property, and so it's renovated, but it's not renovated well, you may buy a lot lower than just an original property. Another example that like you had, Michael, Freshwater, olden days, 2 properties I had. One was a brick home in Freshwater, same size block of land, 4 better, but it was a bit of a add-on after an add-on after an add-on. Another house was just this terrible original, pull on your heartstrings original, 2 better house, and the 2 better house that was about to fall down sold for more than the partially renovated 4-bedroom brick house, and in the same market. And as an agent, you walk away going, how does that happen? I'd rather buy the brick place and actually and undo the renovation and do a little bit more. It cost me a lot less.
Yeah, and I was thinking to this as well. As a consumer, we're becoming a lot more picky, and we're used to being able to customize everything to how we want. Especially starts with our iPhones. We can customize it to the colors we like, the sounds, the display, and a lot of products these days are customize it to you. So I wonder if that's playing a role when now we're looking for a home, that if it's not, we don't like what someone else's version is, and we want to be able to build it how we want. And so like a lot of companies and a lot of things, they almost charge more for you to be able to customize it for whatever it is. So maybe that's coming into a role of housing where you're so used to getting what you want that you will build it yourself regardless of the cost. Money's cheaper. So it's just interesting. And what you were saying before, sometimes it's easier to modify like what you're saying, it's easier to modify a renovation than do a whole renovation. For example, someone's renovated the kitchen. You may not like the cover tops. Well, paint them, get new ones. But the hard cost of them re-waterproofing it, relaying the tiles, and putting the oven in, that's a big cost. That's easier for you just to do some slight cosmetic changes, and it feels like a brand new kitchen because it is, instead of you doing the whole job. Because as we know from experience, any of those type of renovations always cost more, kitchens and bathrooms. Nikki has said, good morning, great topic, close to her heart. So I wonder, Nikki, what sort of side of the fence you are on? Are you passionate about buying unrenovated, renovating it, doing your renovations, or do you see this in the marketplace? Because I tell you what, especially Northern Beaches, if you look at a knockdown for 2-1, there are half renovated, or when we mean half renovated, it could have everything done, landscaping modified, but maybe an old kitchen or old bathroom, or everything bar the bathrooms, or the other way around, brand new kitchen, brand new bathroom, but not there. Sell for 20% more.
Look how many people turn up to either open.
Yeah. The knockdown always gets more. Always.
Like, if you look at that one that was in that knockdown shitter, that had probably, I reckon, 150 people turn up to the open house through the course of its campaign, 170. The beautiful full brick home, almost brand new, didn't even have 10% of that.
Yeah.
But the one the unrenovated one is going to have more money spent on it by the time they're finished. And it's like, why wouldn't you just buy the finished product?
I think so much more we're seeing people get almost turned off with the cosmetics. If it's not perfect, then they'd rather a blank canvas. And there's a big difference between repainting a home, re-putting new fresh cupboards on, than building a whole new home. But people, they almost want it to one extreme or the other. Perfection, build it. And that never really turns to perfection either. But yeah, it's a crazy thing we're seeing, especially in the last couple of years.
But it would really, and I think you're spot on that people love the individualization. But I think buyers out there, guys, you've got to realize it is very, very heartbreaking to pull out a new bathroom that you don't like, and it is very heartbreaking to pull out or modify a kitchen that you don't like. But I think in more often than not, you may find these days you're actually buying that property for cheaper than if it was completely original. Really look at your numbers there, because it's very counterintuitive to rip out a new renovation.
Yeah, and far too often people don't necessarily look at that full picture, and the net left over. And so what's that message to owners then? Because far too often we actually have owners go, oh, I'm just going to do the bathroom, then I sell. We're just going to do this, then we sell. And especially over the last couple of years, my advice is really no. People prefer, unless it's perfect and everything done, and then even then you get the critics, leave it as is. It's almost like worse is better. What's your view?
Oh, and also, I every time I see a red kitchen in a unit in DY, it's always Serbian people. I'm Serbian, so I can say it. But it's not neutral, guys. It's not, it may be absolutely beautiful and royal for you, but for most people, I can actually turn them off the brand new kitchen rather than an original kitchen. So I think the message is, first of all, if you do a renovation, try to do it for the people, not for yourself. Try to do it. Don't be boring, but try to do it so it's attractive to young and old. Second message, I think, is really when you're looking at buying a property, your heart says don't rip out that you can't buy that and rip it out. That's slack buying someone's home partially or all renovated and ripping it to pieces. But don't think with your heart, think with your head, and think, if I can buy this for cheap enough, it's actually going to be the dollars and cents, it's actually going to be worthwhile to buy this cheaper and then rip out the new kitchen or rip out the new bathroom than buying that blank canvas and doing excavation and waterproofing and first floor and second floor and architects and council and vacancy and all that bullshit.
Yeah, because as much as people, they assume it's too expensive to buy something finished or rip it out, or they don't want to, that means there's going to be less, because everyone thinks that. They don't want to rip out the new kitchen, even if, so less people compete for that property. And then on the flip side, on the knockdown, everyone's competing for it. So even if the dollars are better off just from the pure demand, and you're better off as well looking at that avenue. So, yeah, I think that's Sean.
If you've just tuned in, guys, we're just talking about the concept of buying a property original and the concept of buying a property half renovated, full renovated. You would naturally think you're paying a premium for the renovated property, but we're saying that in the market we're more often seeing the poor people paying a premium for an original. And that example, Michael, going back to that example right at the beginning of the show, if you want to buy a 3 Series BMW that's $55,000, you want a black on black, you're paying $55,000. You may find that the showroom that BMW Cole Crawford in Brookvale has a fluoro orange. The worst, or fluoro yellow, the worst color in the world, or least most popular color. Look good in the showroom, but no one wants to buy it. And you may find they're selling that for 46, 47 grand, and no one wants to bloody buy it. Sometimes it's better to buy that and wrap that, spend 2 or 3 grand, and you're still 5 grand cheaper than actually buying a black on black BMW, wrap it in black, wrap the orange one or yellow one in black. And that goes back to the adage of and the example of what we're talking now with property: buy someone's shit renovation and buy it for cheap.
Perfect. And that's a wrap. So thank you everyone. Tune in Monday night, 8:00. What's it? Monday rant. What do you call it? Monday.
Novak News, 8:00 tonight. And Sean, Sven Dotter, good morning, you legend. And Nikki Parker, renovating is a life lesson. If you've done it once, it's you'll realise all the challenges that go into it. There's a lot of moving parts that go into a renovation. Be careful, because we haven't even talked about labour. Your labour, you've got to be paying yourself.
Yeah, I said that's another topic that because people don't value their own time, they don't include labour, because labour's definitely worked into the quote you've been given. And when you look at the materials, even if we're gonna do another one on that. It's already time.
Building a new home is an extra 40 hours a week on top of your 40-hour-a-week job, probably for 2 years.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers. Bye.
See you later.